Hey there, conscious creators. I'm Daniel, your host from Awakening Self, the only YouTube channel that is focused completely on your spiritual awakening, on the purpose of aligning your personal biased self with your higher self. So I just want to remind you that if you still haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button below, because this channel is your portal to more awakening. And with this, let us now begin this video. Today I want to share a method with you that I use to stay in complete alignment with your higher self and to manifest your desires effortlessly. So if you find that interesting, please stay to the end of the video, because I will share with you the secret to stay in complete alignment with your higher self at all times. But before I get to that, I first have to talk a little bit about the problems of our mind. So let me help you understand the science of staying in complete alignment with your higher self and what the mind, the ego, your biased self is doing to stop you from getting to this desired result. Here are some of the problems that our mind creates in regards to staying in alignment with our higher self. Well, first of all, you need to understand that the mind is a linear system. And since the mind has projected and has perceived itself as being a body, a separate entity in a world which is outside of itself, then the mind or the body or your false perception of yourself creates time. And this time creates linearity. So that's basically what I mean by the linear mind. When you're perceiving yourself as a body, then you're out of alignment and out of direct communication with your higher self, because the moment you're perceived as a separate body in an outside and hostile world that you don't know anything about, this creates time, and this also creates the perception of your mind trying to keep you safe. So this is the first problem, that your mind has created linearity, and then you can't perceive of alternate universes and parallel timelines because of this linearity. But don't worry about this. If you don't know still what I'm talking about, I'll share this with you about parallel timelines in another video. But for now, let's get back to this video. So here are the three of the main problems. The mind is always trying to fix the past. So let me give you an example. Let's say that in the past you've had a situation which your mind didn't agree with. Your self-image was threatened somehow, and you're kind of like being angry to a person or a situation, and you're holding some resentment of the past, and you can't let go of this because it's somehow threatening your self-image in this world that we live. And this is the problem that our mind creates to not allow us to live in the infinite now, which is the only moment that exists. The second problem is that based on those situations of the past that you didn't like, or you liked, or you somehow clinged to, then you're trying to predict the future. Your mind basically is doing that. Your mind is trying to predict the future so that it keeps you safe. Why does it want to keep you safe? Well, that's its purpose basically. That's the purpose of your ego. And since it is identified with this body and believes that it's a separate entity, it has to do everything for you to keep you safe, your false self-image. And it will also try to predict the future, which is a problem I want to shine some light upon before I continue with the practice. And the third and the most serious of all the problems is that the mind believes, at least for some people, this is the image you have of yourself in this world that we live in, that we are living in a hostile universe. So the mind has a hostile image of the world. Let me just give you a brief story of how this was created. Let's imagine that in your past you've had some traumatic experiences that basically your mind believed were threatening your existence. And because of that, your mind has created an image of the world that it's hostile, it's a hostile place. And then, since it's trying to protect you, and since it's identified with this separate object, the body, then it's trying to predict the future, to run away from other situations that might be similar to this traumatic experience that you had in the past. And that's how linearity is created in the first place. You're trying to run away from the potential future that your mind won't like because it has perceived as threatening. And this is how so many people are basically always living in the stress hormones, always living in survival. And this is a huge problem. I will create another video for this topic exactly, but for now I just want to shine some light on the main problems that our mind is creating and stopping us from living in direct alignment with our higher self and with spirit. So, having considered these problems, I now want to move on this graph right here. You can see this basically as a timeline. There is the past, there is the future, and as you can know already, I hope that you know at least, there is the only moment that exists, which is the eternal now, the eternal present moment. But since the mind has identified itself with the body, it has resented some experiences in the past and is trying to protect you from having these experiences in the future. That's what's stopping your mind of perceiving alternate parallel realities that might be in your best interest and in your highest alignment with your true self, with your higher self. So then, you have to ignore any time your mind is thinking in the past or trying to predict the future. Because it has this job. It has this job to keep you safe. And if it's in the past, like trying to resolve some problem in the past that happened and trying to keep you safe from it, or if it's in the future, trying to keep you safe from some potential possibility or danger that could occur in the future, then you are not living in the now, then you are not perceiving the now. So the only way to stay in direct communication with your higher self and to know what's best for you in every single moment is to stay rooted in the now. And that's what you learn in this video. So what is the process? How do you stay rooted in the now? Now that you know what are the mind's strategies that it's trying to use to protect you from the future, from the past, from the possibility of danger, you must understand that the only way to be in direct communication with your higher self is to stay completely in the now. And how does that happen? By asking one simple question. But when you ask this question and when an answer comes, you have to filter it through the future projections of your mind and through the past filters of your mind. And I'll explain exactly how this is done if you wait until the end of the video. So the question is, and here is the secret, what is most exciting? What is most exciting right now? By asking this question, you're tuning your mind to your highest excitement, and your higher self communicates with you through feelings, through images, through intuition, but you have to ask the question to know what is most exciting. And if you're tuned into the present moment, you're not stressed about the future or thinking about the past, then if you ask this question, some information will come. And this information, of course, it will get filtered through your mind once again, but you have to disregard that. And here are some of the ways in which you can do this. So, by receiving the information that you get from this question, what is the most exciting thing that I could be doing right now? What is most exciting to me right now? What's the most exciting thing I could watch, I could visualize, I could think of, I could talk to somebody with? You just ask this question continuously until some information gets channeled through your being. And then one more problem comes, that when it's channeled, it gets distorted through your self-image, through your ego. So here are some of the things that you have to keep in mind by doing this process. By getting the answer, by asking this question and then getting some answer, you don't try to compensate for the pain of the past with the answer. So basically, for example, you ask this question and then you intuit the answer that you should look at this specific movie, for example, or you should go and search for something on the internet which will get you to this movie. But if your mind is doing this to compensate for the pain of the past, for example, if you haven't been present by asking this question, then your mind will find a solution to a past problem. That's why it's really important to really stay rooted in the present moment when you ask this question. Because the moment you ask it, an answer will come and it will get filtered through your past experiences of yourself, or it will get projected in the future because you're trying to run away from something. And you have to take into consideration all of these bullet points. You shouldn't try to compensate for the pain of the past by asking this question and getting an answer. You shouldn't try to escape the pain of the present, because otherwise you will be having a solution to some other problem, not what is in your highest excitement right now. And you should be completely disattached from any future outcome that this experience that you start doing when you ask this question will have upon the future. So basically the concept is this, similar. You have to be completely rooted in the now. You shouldn't be thinking of the past, you shouldn't be focused on the future, you shouldn't be desiring something, you shouldn't be escaping some other thing, you shouldn't be doing any of those things. You should be completely present before you ask this question, and then you shouldn't expect this answer to resolve the past, to improve the future, or to be attached to some specific outcome that will improve the present moment. You have to be completely rooted in the now without any expectation. So here's how the process looks. Let me do it with you right now. So basically, you take a deep breath. You relax your body, and then once you're in this present state of being, then you can ask this question: what is the most exciting thing I could be doing right now? What is the most exciting thing that my higher self wants me to do right now? What is this one thing that if I do right now, it will make me feel so much better, but without trying to run away from some negative emotion that I don't like? And you ask this question by being 100% present, then your being will channel an answer, and this is what you have to start doing immediately. Or it may not be always an action. Sometimes it may be just an intuition, like an image, a visualization that comes to your mind that you start to imagine, but you shouldn't in any way connect it to the past or to the future, because time only exists in our minds. And if you want to stay connected with your higher self by using this method that I explained right now, you should live only in the present moment. You should not try to compensate for the pain of the past. You should not try to escape the pain of the present. You should not be attached to any future outcome by doing the things that you channel through. You should only do them for the sake of it, for the sake of doing them, for the sake of having fun in the present moment. And in this way, you'll be able to increase your vibrational state, and then increase a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and you should be able to stay in this flow state until some fear comes up. When those fears come up, I'll have to make another video for this, but then you have to transmute their energy back into the present moment, back into present moment awareness, let them go, and then continue the process. Yet this is a topic for completely another video. So this is the thing that I wanted to shine light upon in this video: how to stay in direct alignment with yourself, and what are the things that might stop you from doing that, or what are the things that might distort the information that you are channeling. And by keeping all of this in mind, you should be able to live in the present moment and in direct communication with your higher self. So this is everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with me until the end, and I hope that you've had a great experience and learned something new. And I want you to remember one more thing before I leave off, that you're just one epiphany away from what? From your dream life, from your potential, from living to your highest dreams, and from being the best version of yourself. So stay tuned for the next video, subscribe to this channel, comment down below, like it if you found it interesting, and I'll see you soon, my friends. Thank you, bye bye.